Hey everybody, welcome back. This is the first declaration of the Motivation Manifesto by Brennan Bouchard. We've been doing this for about 3 weeks now. We took off last week, and this was our first declaration. This particular declaration is called, let me get to the page. We shall meet life with full presence and power. And what, excuse me, what he goes over in this chapter is the 5 different aspects or responsibilities that we place on ourselves, our personality, and our ego in order to keep us moving forward in full presence and power. He also goes on to discuss that, it's probably not possible to be all of the 5 characteristics that we embody at once. However, becoming versed at being part of each of those things and mastering it even, so you can understand how to live your life the best possible way in every moment. He goes over each of those aspects in this chapter, and it's fantastic. And we got Sandra Copeland here from Holiday, Florida. What's up? Did you hear me?
What did you say?
I just introduced you and said, what's up?
Hi, I'm Sandra Copeland. And what he's trying to say here is that your true home is in the here and now. That most people check out of their bodies and their lives, and they're not attuned to the energy and the circumstances around them, nor do they understand their responsibilities to these things in the very moment. I don't know.
Well, that's right. So many of us, I know it's really prevalent in the younger crowd, and now it's prevalent with everybody, really. They've got their cell phone in their hands, and they're on some sort of social media, some sort of instant update type of thing happening all the time. So when they're feeling something or doing something or being something, they're not being fully there because all these constant barrage of updates are happening. And I think a lot of the reason why he wrote this book in general was for people to kind of unplug a little bit so they can really plug into their life. And that's what seems to be going on. Then besides that we're hyper informed as a society these days, we also, because of this hyper information, we're not always able to quickly discern what it is that we are looking at and influencing our lives with. In the past, we knew to change the channel on the TV. Let's just talk TV, and that's not even that far. We've only had that in our society for the past 50 years as a norm. Before that, if you had an emotion about something and you wanted to talk to somebody and they didn't live in your house, you either had to pick up the phone and probably spend a lot of money. I remember, just even calling the next town over used to cost a lot of money. Or you sat down and you wrote a letter. And the whole way that we lived was, there's a reason why we have this amazing amount of technology right now, and that our society has advanced so fast, so far, such a quick period of time, is because of the time that the people had to just be in that moment, to really be right there. So when you experience something, you had to do it slower. It's kind of like food. When you eat slow food, things that you either grow and then you process yourself in your house and you cook it slowly, you don't throw it in a microwave, that we're healthier people when we do that. And he's basically applying that concept to our just everyday life, to just really chill out and be in the right here and now.
Yeah, we avoid many things, and to avoid the pain and conflict, but it's also the best long-term strategy to endure suffering. To avoid, you have to meet things head on.
Yeah.
And like he has said, I think there's 6 roles that we play.
5.
Observer, the director, the guardian, warrior, lover, and leader.
Okay, so
Yeah,
6. Okay.
just 6, yeah. And we tend not to do that. I mean, we don't, like, number one, the observer, we're not really paying self-awareness to ourselves or to other people. You know, we're just kind of floating along. I don't know how to explain it.
You don't have to explain it. It's okay.
Oh, okay, good.
We're just talking. We're not here to read the book for you guys. If you're watching these videos, we're here to talk about our thoughts as we read the book. That's basically, I sometimes we get caught up. We want to really explain to you. It's really, you got to get out there to Amazon and buy this stinking book, or Barnes and Noble, and read it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Read it for sure. But besides that, I really loved all of what he was saying in this. Once we got on a roll, like, just to, like you said, it seemed like a lot when you first looked at this chapter. It really did. I mean, I think I procrastinated on this chapter quite a bit. As a matter of fact, I read like 2 pages of it, and then today I forced myself to sit down, and I counted the pages, and because I wanted to be all plugged in, right? So I sat down and I said, put the freaking spectacles on and get to work. And before I knew it, I looked up and I was finished. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to be one of those chapters that we were going to split up. And I don't think it's necessary. Because I know today I heard you on the website doing the class, as well as that you've read the chapter. This chapter is so important. It's so about right now. And being instead of being hyper-informed, being hyper-aware. And understanding the different heroes. I'm gonna call them heroes that we've got to portray in our lives at different times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so why don't you tell us the first? You said the first one was the observer. What was the second one?
It's like
What's the
most of
second?
it that
What's the,
you do know, but you have to be reminded. So in
that's
reading
why I
it,
heard
doing
something
a
out.
lot
It's
of
like taking
things.
a shower. You need to take one every day.
Okay.
What's the second hero? First one was the observer. What's the second one?
The second, to be the director of your life. Is that
That's
what you?
right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. Mastering the role of the director requires us to be detailed in our intentions for each and every scene in our story.
Mm-hmm.
That's super powerful, especially if you guys out there, if you're into the law of attraction, this is where people get mixed up. The law of attraction has act in it. And what happens is people forget the director part of their life. They just sit there and observe their life, and then they dream about what they want, and then they think about what they want, and that's good. That has to be included. But it has to be in such a way that they always talk about that you're feeling when you're thinking it that matters. So you've got to be thinking so passionately about something that it inspires you. You are filled with inspiration to take action, or the law of attraction doesn't work. You just can't, because you don't experience anything. You don't have any contrast to make it happen. When you're the director, a law of attraction person would do this. They would say, I'm going to be the director of every moment. And what is called, in that language, is called pre-paving. So basically, you're getting in the car and you're on your way to work. And you hate your job, but you've got to go. Right now, that's your reality. You can't run away from it. You got to go to it. So you'd get in your car and you'd sit there and you would be quiet to yourself for about 10 seconds, get right in the now, and you would make a decision about how your day was going to go. You might even make a decision about how you were going to feel on your way to work. And then when you get to work, as you're punching in, you make another decision, another private moment in your mind that's so fast no one knows it happened, about how your day is going to begin. And you pre-pave every moment before it happens. Sometimes you've got to do it intensely when it's something very uncomfortable that you really got to talk yourself through. And sometimes it could be just a matter of, you know what, I'm going to make a plan this year, and I'm going to break it down into 4 quarters, and then I'm going to break it down into a month, and I'm going to break it down into this week, then I'm going to break it down into today, and then when you wake up, you sit there and you write it out as you're going, and you go through it the way you want to see it happen in each moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it means to be a director. That's a lot, but you do it anyway. So you can either do it on purpose and use the right mind and keep your mindset right and switch off the shit you don't need, or you can do it by default. And guess what happens when you don't plan? You plan to fail.
Uh-huh. You have to be more focused on what you're doing and how you're going to react to each situation that may come up or respond. I mean respond. Reacting is kind of a negative thing.
Sometimes that part can't be helped, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're pre-planning and you're being the director of your moment, reaction time is going to go down. You're going to be more thoughtful. He goes over that later on too. But what's the next hero?
The guardian,
Yeah.
the protector. Protect
Yeah.
yourself from unwanted negative information, people, and habits.
Yeah.
Be aware of all this.
Yep. I wrote this thing last night. I got inspired by something and I wrote something quick on my fan page, and I set it for a timer for this morning for people to read it. And I was talking about how I used to seek the advice of people that I totally knew in my mind weren't qualified to talk me into or out of anything as a form of my own self-sabotage. When you act as your guardian, you won't do that. When you are protective of yourself like a bear is to her cub, you are not going to allow yourself to be influenced by things, thoughts, people, places that are not in alignment with what you truly want to be and feel right now and in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And the guardian is real important. I'm not saying about being closed off to not being open-minded or open-hearted. I'm saying that as soon as someone shows you their colors, or a position that you're in shows you their colors, or the feeling you have shows the colors, it's right the first time, most of the time. You can trust yourself. Your guardian is going to help you listen to your intuition. What's the next one?
The next one is the warrior.
I love that one.
Yeah, that's kind of...
It's empowering just to read the word, isn't it? Right now, it's like...
Yeah, I don't know how to...
Gosh.
You gotta work hard toward your dreams and let the obstacles not stop you from doing things.
Yep. We must be bold, fierce, and unrelenting in our chasing of our dreams. I love that. I love that. Oh, I have one I have written down, POW, on the side. You see that? Let me read it. Warriors do not waste time in making decisions. There is little hesitation, hemming and hawing, or hedging. Warriors do not await perfect circumstances to begin the long march to victory. They do not stop when tired or frightened. They do not shy away from a needed fight. They do not apologize for boldness or strength. They do not apologize for boldness or strength.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
They won't give up. They just keep going forward.
Mm-hmm. This particular hero in your life that you are, this is to the listeners out there, and this may be your hardest one to cultivate and nurture. So many people are codependent, passive-aggressive, and they don't really step into their own assertiveness. They just go about reacting and being aggressive, and instead of just being a warrior, you know? And this may be the most difficult one. I don't know. Maybe I just think so. Maybe because it was yeah! When I read it, that I felt like it may be harder for other people to be that. and say no. I hear a lot of people that don't say no. And there's nothing worse, you know, when you become more self.
They're committed. They're committed. Giving their lives to something that matters, and they continue going forward.
Mm-hmm.
They're strict in what they believe and how they're going to be and what they want.
Yeah. What's the next one?
Lovers.
What?
Lovers.
Ooh. I didn't underline anything there. You want to give us one of your underlines?
They pay attention to the people they love around them, their family, their wife, and what they really want. They ask them questions. How are you? How's your day going? They're showing compassion and attention.
Attention.
And affection towards them.
Yeah.
It's a way of showing love when you ask somebody how's your day going, how are you doing,
and you don't look at your phone, and you don't look. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You like you eat dinner, you sit down, and you be mindful about your eating. You be mindful about your relationships, and you know what? I think this comes naturally. I think this part would be more natural to people, instead of being something where they feel like, oh, they just want to take up all my time. I'm working on my dreams. Blah 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 blah. If they really were masterful of the other 3 areas we already went over, because it's simpler to be a lover and pay attention to who you love,
mm-hmm.
whether it be family members or your husband or whatever it is, whether it's romantic or platonic, whether it's your friendships. If you are your observer, if you're your own guardian, and if you're your own warrior, you're not trying to get those things. This is what happens. So many people, they try to get those qualities that they must embody themselves out of someone else, and it destroys their relationships. They stay in relationships that are no good for them, or they allow themselves to be so passive or passive-aggressive and unhappy in a place that they don't really want to be. And that goes for friends. That goes for all of it. It's not just about lovers. It's about all of the, even our relationship with ourselves. If we're not observing, we're not being a guardian, and we're not being a warrior for our own personal bodies. We're allowing poison. We're just not being diligent about our own experience. Mm-hmm. Lover's easy when you start to get the other ones going. What's the next one?
Leader. Be a leader. People, look up to you, and they wait for your direction and attention. And we owe it to them to be outstanding in our role as leaders, that we know what we're doing, what we're talking about, and we're able to guide other people that need guiding. I don't know.
I think that Hero's about being community driven. Mm-hmm. Understanding that even if you don't know someone's watching, someone is. And it's not a bad guy, it's a good guy trying to learn something, and they're looking to you, and you might not even understand that you are a leader to them. Or you may not be the boss at your job, or you might not be the biggest team builder in your company. You're still a leader to someone. And the most important thing would be to behave in your best interest. And your best interest is to really cultivate the leadership role that you need to have for yourself. Therefore, other people can be positively influenced and move in the direction their heart desires with more authenticity. A lot of people get leadership and boss mixed up. Especially in our industry, in network marketing, you see it a lot. And I've done it a lot, where I've been frustrated with how somebody else behaves or acts or does their thing. And, if that's not being a leader, that's being a manager. That's being a codependent. That's being somebody that's so concerned with someone else's success they don't pay attention to their own. Being a leader means just, be the type of person that you want to ask advice from.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean you go run out giving advice all the time. It means that you know that you can get the answer,
Yeah, you want to motivate others when you're a leader, and yeah, you want to motivate others. So you want to with a I don't know. You want to take charge and motivate others, and you want a vibrancy will emanate through your entire being.
Yep.
That is a quote I'm reading from the book here. Ah,
That's it. That's it. No hemming and hawing. What's this? Ha. So that's it. That's the freaking end of the chapter, guys. So if you've been sitting in front of this chapter saying, just make the commitment to yourself. Give yourself 20 minutes and read the freaking thing. It is fantastic. I'm enjoying this book so much. So much. So that's our take on this chapter. You have 6 heroes that are you. And all you got to do is tap into each one of them a little bit at a time until you got it all figured out. And you'll never have it all figured out, but you certainly will enjoy the ride a lot more than if you just leave it to chance. Next chapter. Aha! This is going to be a big one. Let me see. We shall reclaim
our agenda.
The day is always his who works with serenity and great aims. This is about great expectations, guys. The next chapter is going to be off the chain. So I want to make sure that you guys come back and see us next week, same bat time, same bat place. If you're not in the group, I'll put the group link under. This way you can get on the panel with us. If you are in the group, just keep your eyes out for the event inside the group. I don't go crazy advertising this. It's just not, I'm not in the mood to be the big promoter right now, so you're not going to see that. But this invite does go to the group members, and I do post it on G Plus and whatnot. Come and play with us. If not, just wait for the video. No worries. Enjoy it. And hopefully we help enhance your experience with the book that we're reading. So get your motivation manifesto and make it happen. I'm going to say goodbye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
You guys have a good night.